Before the 8-track, music stayed home. It lived in your living room, on your record player, in one place. The 8-track changed everything. For the first time, you could take music with you, in your car, on your own terms. I was 16 years old. I installed my own 8-track player and speakers in my car. Bachman Turner Overdrive, Foghat, the Doobie Brothers, cranked up in my car. My mom thought I was crazy spending that kind of money on a car stereo. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I had no idea that moment would eventually lead me here. But first, how does a guy who grew up on Bachman Turner Overdrive end up building a mineral cast speaker? Well, stick around and find out. And stay for the end. I wrote a song and I'm gonna play it for you. By the time I was in my early 20s, music wasn't just something I listened to, I was playing it. I was in a band. I had a Yamaha CP70. It was an electric baby grand. It was one of the first keyboards to actually use hammers hitting real strings. Back then, only the big names, like Elton John, Billy Joel, they could afford to tour with a full grand piano. The CP70 was the next step down. It's what serious working musicians played. It sounded like nothing else on stage. This was way before keyboards with digital samples. The band I was playing in worked clubs, parties. We played mostly top 40 dance music. It was the late 70s, early 80s. It was a great time to be playing music. And that period shaped how I hear music. Not just as background, as something worth paying attention to. But life had other plans. I got married, had kids, started my first manufacturing business at 22. And eventually, the business took over. The music didn't disappear, but it had to move to the background for a while. I started my first manufacturing business. It was a composites company. We did tooling for other companies. We built products for a wide range of clients. Race car bodies, drift boats for fly fishing in Jackson Hole, medical diagnostic equipment and housings. If it needed to be built to a tight tolerance and come out of a mold looking right, that was our work. I ran that company for about 10 years, and what I learned in that decade was simple. The quality of your tooling determines the quality of your parts, every time. So when I was 32, I sold that business, and that lesson never left me. I want to thank this week's sponsor, Pale Blue Batteries. They've got these really cool batteries that have a USB-C charging port right on the battery. No need for a wall charger. Just take a power bank on the go and have power anytime you need it. Pale Blue Batteries, they're awesome. A short time later, a company called Bullfrog Spas approached me to do their tooling. They were just getting started. They started in 3 garages. That was the entire operation. I came in as a contractor, but it evolved quickly. Within a short time, I was running their whole R&D department. I developed the whole product line, and over the next 18 years, I watched that company grow from 3 garages into an international company. And I was part of making that happen. What that experience gave me was something you can't learn in a classroom. How to take a product from concept to full-scale production. How to build tooling that performs consistently at volume. How to make something that ships to real customers and holds up in the real world. 18 years. Then it was time for the next chapter. After Bullfrog, I was involved in some other business opportunities, but something kept pulling at me. I'd spent my entire career building things for other people. Other companies, other product lines. I wanted to build something of my own. I started a YouTube channel about 2.5 years ago and documenting my builds, exploring materials, finding some different directions, and somewhere in that process, the idea started to take shape. It started simple enough. I built a concrete speaker from an inexpensive kit. Nothing fancy, just curiosity mainly. But it sounded pretty good, and that was the problem. Because once I heard what a mineral cast cabinet could do, I couldn't stop thinking about what it could do if you did it right. With proper drivers, a crossover actually designed for the cabinet, not just a generic kit solution. And that's when the two worlds finally collided. Many decades of manufacturing experience, a lifelong love of music that started in a car at 16 with an 8-track player. I reached out to Danny at GR Research, one of the most respected names in speaker design, and he designed a custom crossover specifically for the Arcus cabinet. I handled everything else, the cabinet, the stand, and the manufacturing system, and the result is the Arcus. built by order, by hand. It's the speaker I always wanted to own, and so I built it. Since I was 16 years old, sitting in my car with an 8-track player, I loved music. And that love took me through a band, through decades of manufacturing, through building products for other companies all over the world. Those two worlds, the musician and the manufacturer, separated for a long time. The Arcus is where they came back together. If you want to own one, check out StoneSonicAudio.com. It's also in the description. And remember that 16-year-old kid with the 8-track? He never stopped loving music. I hope you enjoy this little snippet of a song I wrote. If you like it, leave me a comment and I'll do more of them sometime in the future. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.